I'm Bernard Cody, and I served over in Korea with the 2nd Battalion, Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry. I was in D Company and 10 Platoon, and I fought in the Hill 677, on Hill 513, Hall 677.
So were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted.
And why did you join?
Why did I join? I signed up, and my buddy signed up, but the other guy who came with us, he wouldn't sign up. He backed out and he went home. So him and I ended up going to Camp Borden, and we're in Camp Borden, and then we went from Camp Borden to Calgary. And I was with the 2nd Battalion in Calgary, and I went to Korea with the 2nd Battalion in Korea.
What made you want to fight in the Korean War?
Because I was kind of interested in Korea. Like when the war started there, they had already started. When we got there, they were pushed right back to Busan. Then the Americans were pushed pretty into Busan. And then we landed there, and then we started to move forward. So.
And do you recall your first days in service?
Yes, in Camp Borden, the dirty old hut left from the Second World War.
Do you remember arriving in Korea and what was it like?
Well, when we arrived in Korea, it was in Busan. There was nothing there, but because the war was pretty a pushback to Busan then. Then we went to Mariang, and from Mariang we went into the train there for about 3 weeks. Then we went into the lines, and we moved up towards Seoul. And then we had a little battle on one night. We had 2 casualties, I think. And the next battle we had, it was on Hill 632, and that thing we went marched out, went all night, 11 o'clock at night till 3 o'clock in the afternoon the next day in snow up to their knees, and we were supposed to attack the hill at 3, but then they were supposed to put aircraft in to support us. They couldn't because of the storm, the snow was set. So we started up the hill around 3, and we got to the top of the hill around 11 o'clock at night. And we had, I think, 7 killed and 29 wounded on that hill at 632.
And what was your job?
I was in D Company, a rifleman, in 10 Platoon.
And did you see a lot of combat?
Yes, there I did.
Were there many casualties in your unit?
Well, that was that night there. We had 7 killed and 29 wounded. Then at Cap Young, we didn't have that. We had another hill, we had a couple wounded, a couple killed. But at Cap Young, we had, I think it was 7 killed there and 10 or 15 wounded. But the only thing that saved us in Cap Young was the artillery from the New Zealanders. That's when they overrun our hill. The Chinese overrun the hill at Cap Young. So our captain called our colonel. Were going to take us off the hill, pull us off the hill, and the colonel said, "You don't leave that hill, you stay there. You don't leave that hill, you stay there." But he said, "If you want artillery, we'll give you artillery." So he's get everybody's heads down. He said, "We're going to put artillery on," and that's when they put 4,000 rounds on our position, around our position, to keep us on the hill. That's where we run out of the ammunition, run out of food and ammunition. And the Americans dropped it into the flying boxcars, our food and ammunition to us.
So is that your most memorable experience?
Yes.
And were you awarded any medals?
Yeah, we got the presidential United States Presidential Medal of Honor from the United States. Okay.
What was the food like?
The food, when we first went over there, we were on British rations. And the food wasn't the best. We went on the American rations. They're called C6s, and in that box you got a can of lima, you got a can of pork and beans, and you got a piece of orange, like like candy, on that side. You got toilet paper in there. You got a pack of cigarettes in there. You got like a can of meat patties or a sausage, like big in cans. And you got 3 cans out there. That was your C7 for a day. But the food was good there, because you're in the lines, eh? And like when you're in the lines, you eat that stuff. And you got a little can like that. It was called canned heat, and you could heat that up, and you could heat your lima beans and that on it, your stuff on that little thing. Eh? But then the guys started to drink it, so they took it away. They took it away from us because the guys used it to drink, so they got rid of it anyway.
So how did you stay in touch with your family?
Well, I wrote them a letter once in a while.
Did you feel pressured or stressed?
Oh no. Well, I wasn't too excited when they were getting shot at. It was a little bit stressed.
Do you recall any unusual events?
Well, the worst event was at 677 when the big push come. They were pushing everybody back, and it was sad there. That 677, it was Cap Young was the worst. For miles and miles, all you could see was people, family, little kids, 4 little kids, mother and dad, and everything they own on their freaking back, everything. Big A-frame, everything they own. 3 or 4 little kids, little babies. It was awful, just awful. That it was a thing you couldn't even believe. For miles and miles, all you could see was the poor people. They were so bad. They were so off, no place to go. Yeah, and if they got wounded or something, they never got no care. It was awful. That was the worst. Nobody ever put up during anything bad. I don't think even the Rio as bad as it was in Korea when they got treated over there. The refugees, especially at Cap Young, when they pushed all them people. So it was unreal.
Do you recall the day your service ended?
Well, it began to end when I come back from Korea. I went on an airborne course, become a paratrooper, and then I went to Germany for 2 years. And,
so did you make any close friends while you were in service?
Lots of friends, good friends, excellent friends.
So did you join a veterans organization?
Yes, the Korean Veterans Association.
And do you attend reunions?
Yes, a lot of reunions. Well, Calgary, in Edmonton, we went to Winnipeg, we had big reunions there.
How did your service change your life?
Well, it changed. I'll tell you one thing. It changed the way you eat. When I left home, I just eat certain things. When I got to Calgary, I didn't like the food. When they went in the kitchen, I didn't like it. Well, the guy said, maybe after a couple of days you'll like the food. He said, come on back. He said, don't worry about it. He said, you'll like it. Well, after 2 or 3 days, I kind of liked it because there's nothing else to eat.
So when visiting Korea after your service ended, how did you feel?
Oh, it just felt 100%. Never felt better. Well, never got treated so good in your life, man. Everything. You couldn't even begin how good you got treated over there. There's no place better to go than Korea. If you're a veteran, you can't believe the treatment you have. And they have all kinds of nurses on the bus with you. There's about 4 or 5 nurses on the bus with you, on your bus, and they have 2 or 3 guys on there. Make sure they help you off and help you on. You can make sure you do this and do that. They take so much care. You can't even believe the care they take of you. You're so well taken care, and everybody honors you over there. Everybody. They're the nicest people in the world, and they are. You can't ask for nicer people. Right back in Canada today, we get treated the same way for the Koreans here. They treat us 100% over in Windsor here. And I'm proud to fly their freaking flag. I've flown it now for about 2 months. See, because now I flew it for Cap Young, and now on the 27th, that's when the war ended over there, and I'm going to fly it till then.
You have the flag up in your backyard?
Yeah, I got the big flag there in the backyard, the Korean flag.